Football is the game. The Chelsea fans with every right to sing at the moment. An impressive effort here as of late. Maybe no longer the doormat here in the English Premier League. We will see what their chances are like here, as they will be our first game up on Saturday. This is the Friday Soccer Paycheck. I am Stephen Murray, your host. This is America's only wagering show on the English Premier League and the English Championship, broadcasting from Chicks Beach, Virginia, the Virginia Beach area of the East Coast, the United States of America. This is the Friday Soccer Paycheck. If you know of any other soccer wagering podcast on the EPL or Championship, by all means, let me know, because it does not exist as far as my research has gone. All right, here we go. EPL, another week. English Championship as well. They played midweek, so some interesting outcomes there, and a very staggered schedule when we get to it for over the weekend. So if you're one of those who likes to try to clump everything together at one time, like at 10 o'clock on Saturday, you're going to have a hard time doing that with the EPL this week, as we have 4 games on Saturday and more games actually on Sunday, with obscure start times all across, really, to be honest. Not so much on Saturday, but for sure on Sunday. However, there are some obscure championship kickoff times with multiple games occurring on Saturday early and then also Sunday morning as well. So they'll have a full slate of soccer provided for you and your entertainment as you tune into our other show, The Round Robin, live Sunday mornings breaking down the NFL. You can watch soccer and listen to us live at the same time as you get your football plays ready. All right, so let's go over the English Premier League table. And happy Halloween, everyone. I know everyone has your Halloween parties starting really last night. I saw some. Tomorrow night. Tonight as well, Sunday football, and then Tuesday, everyone keep it safe. Be smart. Don't drink and drive at all. And, use your heads out there, people. Don't get too effed up. You know what I'm saying? Try to keep it to a minimum. We don't need you going out there and destroying yourself for 5 days straight. Okay. The English Premier League table. Let's take a look at it. We'll see how we stand. On top still, Tottenham, 23 points. In fact, we have a live game right now with Tottenham. They are playing Crystal Palace. We have that on in the studio. We just now start the second half with the game tied at 0. So we'll see if Tottenham can get the very cherished 3 points here at Crystal Palace. A very competitive game so far. It's not like Tottenham's really having their way here. They're a very hot team. They haven't lost yet. 7 wins, 2 draws, plenty of goals with 20 on the season, allowing 12 still, which is, a little more than 1 a game at this point, 1.3. So it's not like they're completely shutting it down on defense, although we do have 0-0 right now. So Tottenham, 23 points, Man City and Arsenal, both with 21. Of course, Arsenal has the win against Manchester City already. If there's going to be a goal differential scenario right now, you'd have to give the nod to Manchester City scoring 12 goals themselves. So Arsenal in third, Liverpool creeping up. They're top 4 now, 20 points for them. Aston Villa, 19 points. Newcastle trying to surge. They've been hot late, winning 4 out of 5 with a draw in there. And they'll have a game against the Wolves, so another winnable game. Here's the deal. That's going to be the summary of the weekend ahead with the EPL. We definitely have top feeder against bottom feeder scenarios. And fact, that's kind of the scenario we want, to be honest, one way or the other, whether we're going to pound the favorites or go with the dogs. Looks like we're going to pound the favorites this week, but we'll get more into that in a minute. Aston Villa with 19 points, Newcastle 16, Brighton with 16, Manchester United, a couple wins in a row now, has 15 points. West Ham, still a decent season for them compared to last year, 14 points overall. There's Chelsea now, 2 wins and a draw here in their last 3, and their last draw was a good draw by their standards. So they drew out Arsenal, correct? Yep, a draw with Arsenal, and that's almost a win for them, to be honest. Here's Crystal Palace, very inconsistent here in their last 5. Of course, they're live now. Wolverhampton, 2 wins, 2 draws in their last 4. So they're creeping above and away from the relegation zone. Fulham, inconsistent here in their last 5, 2-1 overall. Brentford finally got off the schneid. They get a win. We were fading Brentford for a while, tried again last week, didn't work. Nottingham, they're not losing, but they've been drawing out 3 draws in their last 4 with the 1 loss in that other game. Let's see. Everton, inconsistent, win-loss, win-loss, loss. Actually, loss-win, loss-win, loss, if you want to get real specific for them. Luton Town still remains somewhat cold, although they drew the last time out. They have 5 points. Everton, 7. Nottingham, Brentford, both with 10. Fulham and Wolverhampton, 11 points. Crystal Palace, 12, tied with Chelsea right now. And then your bottom 3 are this. Burnley with 4 points. Bournemouth with 3. Bournemouth has dropped all the way down. And Sheffield United with 1 point. Sheffield United has now lost 5 games in a row. Let's see. Bournemouth has lost 4 in a row. Burnley has lost 4 out of 5. Luton Town, with their draws and their win here in their last 5 games, they've kind of pulled themselves out of this relegation dilemma, but they're still right there. There's so much more soccer to play with, 29 games left. So they need to get some wins. Otherwise, they might find themselves. Moral of the story is no one's really out of it. They just need to catch some fire. But the teams are pulling away above them, except for the couple stragglers right above the relegation zone. That would be Everton and Luton. So right now, if you were to kind of picture it, is really just a 5-horse race, and they'll need to draw Nottingham and Brentford back into it, or Fulham and Wolverhampton, really, for that fact, in Crystal Palace. So Burnley, Bournemouth, Sheffield, Everton, and Luton, 2 of those teams will look to not get relegated, where we stand basically at the quarter mark of the season, you would say. So we're about a quarter way done. So definitely, we're going to be playing until May. So it's only October still, although we're creeping on November. So we have 6 more months of this to figure it out. All right. At the moral of the story of that. Okay. Your top goal scorer teams are this. Goals scored. It's going to be Brighton still. No, Newcastle with 24. So Newcastle is your top scoring team now. I thought it might have changed hands. Aston Villa, 23 goals. They're second. So they passed Brighton. Brighton with 22. Liverpool, 20. Tottenham, 20. Man City, 19. Arsenal, 18. After that, it drops off. West Ham, 16. And then you're really struggling behind that. Notables along that route would be Manchester United, 11 goals. Wolverhampton now with 11. They've been scoring more as they were a lot slower here. Crystal Palace, just 7 goals on a year so far, including today, 0-0 Crystal Palace and Tottenham. Let's see, Fulham with just 8 goals on a year. Luton with 8, Burnley 7, Bournemouth 6, Sheffield 7. So bottom line, these teams just aren't scoring. If you're taking anytime goal scorer props in any of those, you are dreading life. So get off of that. You just don't see it getting much better this week, that's for sure. Teams who have allowed the most goals: Bournemouth, Burnley, Burnley with 23, Bournemouth 20. Sheffield United has allowed 24 goals now. Brighton has allowed 18, so they're the best team, allowing a lot. And then really it gets better after that. 15 for Wolverhampton, 15 for Fulham. Crystal Palace just allowing 11. Chelsea has only allowed 9 goals. So that's good for them. They're not getting smoked anymore, just kind of losing barely here in their 9 games. In their 9 games, they have 21 goals, put it that way. Oh, we have a goal at the 52-minute mark. It looks like James Madison, who we love to take on the show for props, has stuck it in the net. We'll get the replay here. So Tottenham takes the lead on the road. We'll have slight interest in this for sure. You know that. And we're looking for over 2.5 goals in this scoreless game. Oh, lucky ricochet off the Crystal Palace player. Madison just smashes it in to the box, and it hits the Crystal Palace player so fast he has no time to react, and it ricochets right into the goal. Basically a 90-degree angle off the Crystal Palace player, right off the shin, bumper pad style. But it goes in. I guess they'll give that an own goal. I don't think they'll credit that to Madison. That'll be an interesting call on that, actually. I mean, he hit it so hard, it probably is. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting goal. They might charge that to the Crystal Palace defender, or Madison might get it himself. So 1-0 Tottenham. That game now 54 minutes in. All right. So that's that. Those are your good goal-scoring teams, your bad ones, and where everyone sits. Okay, let's get to it. First game, Chelsea and Brentford. All right, so Chelsea playing better. Brentford as well. This smells of an under game, 7:30 in the morning to me so far. Brentford plus 420, Chelsea minus 155, draw plus 290. Simply from the perspective of the goals in both of these games. So Chelsea games average just about 2 goals a game. Brentford 26. So they're about 2.5, a little bit more, 2.7. It's just going to be a nudge to the under, but man, I guess I don't doubt if this game goes over 2-1 Chelsea. So I think this is going to be a no play at the end of the day with Chelsea and Brentford. Let's see here. Any other weird angle we want to look at? We're looking at decent weather across the UK. Looks like a fair day, not too cold, dry conditions until late. So that'll be good for Saturday anyway. Sunday, let's make sure we get our Sunday weather early forecast, and definitely check conditions pregame. You know what I'm saying? Don't get bogged down with what we might have to say here. Okay, off and on, light rain, chance wind, not too terribly crazy on Sunday. So we'll just go with that. These fields are nice in the EPL, so it's fair game for anyone to score. It has been an over season. If you've been betting straight overs in the EPL, you're definitely having a great year so far. Even in the terrible conditions, these fields are in such immaculate shape. You really need to worry about weather more, I think, when it comes to like the championship. Some of these fields might not have the keep as well. Even lower than that, League One, League Two, if you want to stoop that low. Too much for me to follow with the championship and EPL. I know some people like the League One, League Two, but we just can't. You got to craft and be your specialist at one or two things here. And with soccer, all right, we'll stay with the top 2 leagues. Okay. Let's see. So Chelsea, Brentford, I'm really not going to have a play. I would not doubt if this plays under, even though it is a nice day. 2-1's fair game. I really have nothing for you on this. I would expect Chelsea, I guess, to win at home. I think 2-1 might be a better, a fair, correct score here. Maybe 2-0. would be a good correct score. 2-0 does pay 7-1. I could see that. I could see 2-0. It's not like Chelsea's playing with a full slate, although they've been better with injuries. They definitely have dropped a fair amount of guys off the injury list. They were rolling around a dozen injuries in the previous weeks, but right now with just 7 players and a few notables on there, but we're not going to get too crazy. I think they're definitely heading in the right direction. Brentford does get the win there last time out. They do have some injuries as well. Rico Henry has been ruled out again, so that's a big deal. Dealing with a suspension as well. So Brentford, just a bad spot for him more than anything. I just don't see any kind of crazy goal performance. Does Chelsea win this game 3-0? Maybe. So home team goals, since we're trying to find angles that we can go with. And I would continue that fate of Brentford like we have in previous weeks. Plus 250 for a Chelsea over 2.5 home team goals. I think that's fair game. I think you can probably take a shot at that. Okay, next game on the board. Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern, we have 2 games. Arsenal will play Sheffield, and Bournemouth will play Burnley. Arsenal minus 900, Sheffield United plus 1,900, and the draw is at plus 900. All right, so do you have that? Minus 900 for Arsenal, plus 1,900 for Sheffield. So basically, you're getting 20-1 odds if you want Sheffield. And the draw is at plus 900. I love big numbers. I love big dogs. This is not your spot here. Sheffield gives up a ton of goals. This could be one of those 7-8-0 games. Literally, it could. Now, Arsenal does have Champions League stuff. They'd love nothing more than to rack it up in the first half and then take it easy in the second half, and especially if it might start raining later in the game. Not necessarily when it starts, but there's a chance of rain as this game kind of follows through today. So I think it's worth looking at some of the half stuff for sure. So let's see what we have here, because this could be a full-on thrashing. So if we take home team to get the 6 goals, they pay 10-1. 5 goals is plus 430. I think all that's in play. I really, really do. But let's look at the halftime. First half, home team goals over 2.5 is at plus 570. So to get the 3 goals by halftime, which is a game I love to play with Arsenal against the bad teams, they always get the 2, which is plus 145. So I think that's a safe number for sure. Arsenal plus 145 to get the 2 goals in the first half, to get the 3 goals first half plus 570. So if you want to build some crazy tickets, let's do that. So we'll throw Arsenal in a ticket right now over 2.5 goals in the first half at plus 570. They dropped the hammer down early, let up late, cruise to victory will be the kind of the theme for that, I think. Does Arteta want to rub it in on them? Well, they need goals. I mean, they definitely need goals to be if they're going to stay tied with Man City. Goals could be a big issue for them up at the top of the table. So I don't think they're going to call the dogs off. I just really, really don't. Weather could be the one issue on why that may happen. Now, do they start cold? That ruins your first half bet? Maybe. That could be the case too. Hit like the goal mount 3 times and not get a goal. Trust me, it happens plenty. Okay, so Arsenal team goals either way with the half or the game there. Bournemouth and Burnley is the next game up. This is 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bournemouth plus 110. Burnley plus 240. And the draw is at plus 260. All right, so man, I want to take Bournemouth because they're the one team I've been trying to really kind of deal with here. No major injuries for Arsenal, by the way. So they're fine. Sheffield destroyed 10 injuries for them. So Bournemouth and Burnley injuries may be the thing here. 7 injuries here for Burnley. Looks like most of the guys could kind of come up, but this is a Burnley team that just quite frankly isn't like the team they had who was promoted in the championship. You got to keep that as a reminder as well. Bournemouth. Where is Bournemouth? There's Brighton, Brentford, Aston Villa, Arsenal. So Bournemouth is going to list no injuries. Wow, look at that. Okay. So Bournemouth is also off the list on the injury table. So they're healthy. They have that going for them. So maybe that does favor them. And we do like to look at stuff. So Bournemouth is plus 110. The dog Burnley plus 240. So we'll look at Bournemouth here on some stuff. Now they have minimal goals, right? We talked about that. Just 6 goals scored, allowing 20. But Burnley's been the same, 7 allowing 23. 7 scored, allowing 23. Bournemouth scoring 6, allowing 20. So something has to give, as they say, right? That's good for a minus 16 goal differential for Burnley, minus 14 for Bournemouth. So can they start to light it up? I would trust Bournemouth at home if that's going to be the case. All right, so let's just look at their number at home. Over 2.5 for the game is at plus 340. Dominic Solanke and Philip Billing, they could get it going maybe here. So I would look at home team over goals at plus 340 for Bournemouth. The spread, I don't know about that. Minus 1.5. Eek. That does pay plus 320. I think I would just trust them to get to 3 and hope for the best if you need to have it. Minus 2.5 if they win 3-0 pays plus 940. That might be worth a shot too, to be honest. Do we want Bournemouth minus 2.5 against Burnley? Wow, it's paying good. That would jack up this parlay ticket that we're paying. If we're going to count on them to get 3, we just need 0 from Burnley, which they probably get 1, right? What's the total over under? 45 or 4.5 goals is plus 500 for the collaborative effort. Over 3.5 is 2-1. Wow. All right. I think we'll stick with Bournemouth over 2.5 goals. We'll just root for the best. If you want to take them on a spread, though, go for it. You'll have a nice payout that could ring it up here. So just a thought. Bournemouth is going to win. Hopefully they win by 2 or 3. Will they? I can't say it's a slam dunk. That's for sure. All right. It looks like we're going to have a goal coming up. It's registered up here on the book, sports book for Tottenham. They do have 2. It's going to be Son right in front of the box. Wide open. That was basically a layup for him. 2-0. Son, 65 minutes in for Tottenham. 2-0 lead. So give us 1 more goal, guys, and we'll be happy. In fact, give us 2 more. We'll be really, really happy starting the weekend off right. Beautiful goal. This is great soccer by Tottenham. Of course, Madison's involved there. Nice little kick in. Volley to the, basically a little chipper to the front of the box, and then a reverse volley. And then Son just right there puts it in. It was literally tap, tap, as kick, 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 kick. So 4 quick kicks in a row, kind of like a rugby line. 45 degrees backwards. And that gets it home. Wow, beautiful soccer. So Tottenham 2, Crystal Palace 0. Again, if you bet Son and Madison to score, you're scoring big time on those props. Speaking of the Bournemouth game, if we're going to go with anyone to score, in fact, we need to look at that for Arsenal, right? There are going to be a lot of favorites, I think, in the Arsenal game. Billing plus 270, fair game. Solanke plus 170 for Bournemouth. So maybe look at one of those. And then now, let's see, with Arsenal, Jesus has been scoring a lot for him. Let's see here. Martinelli plus 125. Trossard plus 130. Odegaard plus 150. Man, it sounds like a 2 Odegaard goal day for sure. So 2 or more goals for Martin Odegaard is at plus 700. All right, so good prop there. Go ahead and look at that. Let's see. Saka at plus 600. I would take a look at that as well. So any number of players you want for Arsenal, what could be a bloodbath for sure. Odegaard for 2 sounds like one I'm going to get behind for sure. Let's see here. What else do we got? Let's get back to the list here. This is the Friday Soccer Paycheck. I am Stephen Murray. Your 4 p.m. Friday preview of the EPL and championship games. All right, next game on the board. Interesting game. Last one on Saturday. So just 4 Saturday games. This is the Wolves plus 330. Home against Newcastle, laying minus 125, which sounds very cheap. The draw is at plus 290 for this game at Wolverhampton. All right, so clicking on here. Again, do we like an over? Man, why do I just see goals here again? Because Newcastle's been a goal-scoring machine. The Wolves have been able to score as of late again. So that's why I would like to do it. Newcastle stumped a little bit at home here in the Champions League midweek. Tough spot for them on the road as well. So we'll look for goals here, trying to get the ship right. Let's see, over 3.5 plus 172. 4.5 is at plus 420. Why do I like the 3.5 number just a little bit better? I'm going to be a little bit reserved on this game, I think, but it is a fun one. It's an interesting one. But Newcastle has been a beast. They really, really have. We'll look at their goals as well on both teams. Hwang Hee-chan plus 350. That's a good number for him to score for Wolverhampton. Neto at plus 390. Maybe take a shot at that. I think the Wolves get 1. I do. I think maybe even 2. And it's going to be up to Newcastle to, Newcastle could get 4, to be honest. I don't know why Fabio Silva is always ranked so high to score a goal. He's never scored. He's always 3-1. Finds the ball at his feet a lot, but it never comes home. Miguel Almiron plus 270 would be a decent one for Newcastle. Maybe Joe Linton at plus 370. Callum Wilson plus 160 is fair. The Wolves will make you work for it. They do play hard. Newcastle has such talent, though. That's why I could see them succeeding here and getting some goals up on the board. Away team over 2.5 is just plus 240. Home team over 1.5, which will be an interesting bet, is at 2-1. So if the Wolves can get 2 goals at home, you get 2-1 odds, and that's going to be, I don't know. I mean, why do I think 3-2 here somehow, or 4-2? This game could get up to 6 goals. It definitely could, I think. Over 5.5 is at 10-1. That might be our magic number. Interesting. Just for the sake of this parlay ticket we have going with Arsenal first half over 2.5. I mean, that is kind of absurd. Maybe we do the absurd play. Bournemouth over 2.5 is definitely absurd at home. Okay, over 5.5 goals, plus 1040. Let's throw it on there. So we're asking a lot of these Saturday games for sure. Maybe that's why Chelsea is the 1-0 game. The rest of these guys can have a nice high scoring Saturday for you. Let's see. Those three right now in a parlay on Saturday, $5 is going to pay $1,675. Wow. It's just worth it, man. You got to take a shot with that for $5 to win $1,675. All right. So we'll keep this ticket going round robin style. If you do, which is the combination of either one of these three, just 2 out of the 3 if they hit. So you can lose one. You'll invest 15 and you'll win. If 2 of the 3 hit, you'll invest 15 and win $250. $255. So that's not too bad either, just hitting 2 of the 5. Because I definitely could see this. Okay. Let's keep it going. Sunday EPL. It is 4:30 here on the Friday Soccer Paycheck. Of course, I have no shortage of vocabulary to discuss this sport. Okay, Sunday 9 a.m., first game on the slate. This is where our stagger times come into play, so pay attention. 9 a.m. Sunday, West Ham hosting Everton, plus 115 for West Ham. Everton plus 230, the draw plus 250. West Ham comes on the road after losing their Europa League game on Thursday. So Everton will be the fresher team here. Decent effort against Liverpool for a minute until Liverpool basically beat them down. But West Ham at plus 115, I'm not so sure I'm interested here. Why do I think the draw is the best number at plus 250? The West Ham travel kind of concerns me because they were in Greece. They just did play, and they didn't play well. So is there going to be a carryover effect? I think there probably maybe. So this is one game I'm going to be reluctant at. And this is, the first game on the board on a Sunday, which can be kind of disgusting at times. You're waiting for goals, and they never come. So I think this is going to be a full pass, but maybe the draw plus 250 is the best bet here. Maybe Everton puts up a nice little effort. This has draw just written all over it, man. Really 1-1 maybe. I could see. So correct score for that is at plus 600. So do you take plus 250 or plus 600? 2-2 is plus 1100. We could get there. So maybe take 1-1 and 2-2. In fact, you could take 0-0, to be honest. But I just have a feeling this is a lower scoring game as well. So injury-wise, let's take a look at that. Everton relatively healthy, so that's going to be good for them. And then West Ham is going to be, well, they're healthy too. So 2 more healthy sides here in the English Premier League. All right, so we'll say the draw for this West Ham game. Next game on the board. Brighton plays Fulham. Now, Brighton has been the sweetheart. They've scored a lot. They've given up a lot. We've been trying to pick on Fulham a little bit. Fulham maybe not the best team to pick on. They're inconsistent. They have lost 2 of their last 3. I mean, if there is a get-right game for Brighton, it should be this. But they have lost 2 of their last 3 with a draw. So they're just not reliable right now. In fact, they lost their Europa game as well. No, they didn't lose. They won 2-0, but it was a struggle, it seemed like, for the most part. So I don't know if I can heavily rely on Brighton to bring home the mass goal bacon in this one. Fulham does allow 15 goals on the season. So in their 9 games, you do the math. That's about 1.4 goals in a game. Brighton is a goal scoring machine. This just has 2-0 written all over for me. Maybe Brighton gets the 3. I wouldn't take Fulham. If anything, just take the team goals with Brighton. Um, let's see what home team over 1.5 pays. Minus 225. Plus 158. They get the 3 goals at home for Brighton. I just don't know. I wish you'd get paid a little better to get to the 3 total. All right, we are now 77 minutes into this soccer affair with Tottenham and Crystal Palace. 2-0 in favor of Tottenham still. All right. Basically, I like Brighton, but let's not completely depend on them. Aston Villa and Luton is a different story, I think. This could be a slaughter. Minus 410 for Aston Villa, plus 1,000 for Luton Town. The draw plus 500. So Aston Villa, the home team, we're going to look at their goals. And this has Ollie Watkins 2 goals written all over it, which pays at plus 390. So we'll throw him in with the Odegaard in a parlay. And we'll go ahead and throw in someone like Pedro Neto for the Wolves at plus 390. We'll throw him in there as well for the player props. And maybe we can get a good connection on that. That will pay nice. Okay, so we'll look at the home team goals here for Aston Villa. And this is a scenario where maybe we look at the first half too. They have been a very, very dominating first half team. Over 2.5 is plus 104. Over 3.5, just plus 290. Home team first half, over 1.5 is 2-1 odds. I definitely like that number. And to get to the magical 3 goals against Luton in the first half is plus 820. I think we would take a shot on that. So let me add this to the magical ticket. All right, so over first half, 2.5 goals. That's going to be the same bet with Arsenal against Sheffield. Basically, really 2 really good goal-scoring teams against the absolute bottom feeders here. We have Wolverhampton, Newcastle over 5.5 at a big number, and Bournemouth home over 2.5 goals against Burnley. Now, this ticket's going to pay good here. $5 is now paying 15,454. All right, so we're going to be locked into this tomorrow as well. Let's see if Tottenham can get us 1 more goal here. All right, next game. Yeah, Aston Villa home team goals and home team first half. Simple as that. Goal scorer props in this one. Again, Ollie Watkins. This has a 2-goal game for him, maybe even 3, to be honest. He can. What's the hat trick for Watkins? Just a 16-1. So that tells you that can actually really, really happen pretty easily. Here comes Tottenham again. Oh, they got guys running free in the box. Cannot get the pass in. And it gets kicked out. Crystal Palace does play decent defense at times, but Tottenham's going to try for the pressure. They're going to try for this 3rd goal anyway. So let's see if they can get it. 10 minutes plus injury time left. Into the box. Oh, another great pass that gets blocked. Wow. The pressure is starting to mount up here for Crystal Palace in their defensive end. Okay. So Ollie Watkins goals, Aston Villa home team, first half and home team for the game. And we will go commercial free for you here on the Friday Soccer Paycheck. We'll go right to the championship after, let's see, how many more games we got? 2 more. Liverpool and Nottingham. Again, this could be another just whitewash. Liverpool's been playing good. They're in great form. They jumped into the top 4. They won 5-1 in their Europa game. So they're coming off a very, very nice win. And Nottingham is just ripe for the picking right now, let's be honest. Injury-wise, Tottenham's trying to score. Let's just see if they can. They have such sleek passing. I mean, sleek is a good word for it. Let's see here. Liverpool injuries are pretty good. Robertson's the only guy ruled out, really, that's notable. So that's good for them. Meanwhile, Nottingham is pretty banged up. That's the thing you see, too. The healthy teams, the good teams are the healthy teams. The bad ones are the injured teams. So that's like a double whammy. So keep that in mind here. Nottingham with 8 players injured. So Luton Town is going to get the hammer dropped on them at Aston Villa, and so is Nottingham, basically. So home team goals. Let's see. Again, the first half is fair game here. Nottingham on the fast break now. Oh, my God. Why pass that? They'll get a corner. Emilio Sarr with just an early pass. 2-on-1. He kicks it right to the Crystal Palace guy. Again, Son right in front of the net if he gets it. First half over 2.5 goals for Liverpool is at plus 380. Home team over 4.5 for the game is at plus 680. I think I like that number better. So we'll stick Liverpool, header missed right in front of the net. Plus 680 for Liverpool home team goals over 5.5. So here's our ridiculous parlay that we've come up with. Because we won't use it on United and Man City. We'll lay off that game. Wow. Bad header. That should have been a goal. Home team Arsenal over 2.5 goals first half. Home team over 2.5 for the game Bournemouth. Wolves Newcastle to get the 6 goals combined. Aston Villa home team over 2.5 goals. Liverpool home team over 4.5 goals. We're getting carried away. I know. Let's see our round robin. If we do $5 on each leg, so this is a total of a $80 bet. We won't bet the twos. So if we hit 3 of the 6 or 3 of the 5 here, you're going to get $2,300. If you hit 4 of the 5, you're going to get, let's see, 16, 17. Pretty good, like $26,000. All right, so 2,300 for 3, 26,000 for 4, and if you sweep the board, about $228,000. All right, so these are the picks on the Friday soccer paycheck for the EPL. We're going to take chances, ultimate good teams against injured bottom feeders, and the risk on Bournemouth because they're the better of the crap, maybe. Arsenal will lay the hammer to Sheffield. So over 2.5 home first half goals for them. Maybe they let the brakes off after that. Home team Bournemouth over 2.5 goals for the game. Wolves Newcastle over 5.5 goals for the game. Home team first half over 2.5 goals for the game. Aston Villa, and that's in the first half. And then home team over 4.5 goals for Liverpool. And again, all together round robin style, $80 pays $228,000. That's why this is the Friday soccer paycheck. Investing the minimum for the maximum. Okay, goal scorers again. We're going to look for Odegaard for Arsenal, 2-1, 2 goals. So that's about 10-1 odds. We will look for, in fact, Liverpool, we will add on a 2-goal scorer. Let's go ahead and take Darwin Nunez at plus 480. So we'll take him. We'll take Ollie Watkins for 2 at plus 380 for Aston Villa. And we'll take Neto for 1. 1 goal for Pedro Neto in the game against Newcastle. Now, is there a good 2-goal scorer in here? Yeah, absolutely. I would just trust Newcastle with that responsibility for sure. Miguel Almiron, 17-1. There you go. That's a nice price as well. So that'll be a big payout if you can get just 2 of those guys to hit home on Sunday morning. So Sunday morning, a lot better in the English Premier League than Saturday. Man City and Man United is the last game, 11:30 a.m. That will end the week. Man United at home plus 420, minus 150 for City. The draw is at plus 290. Plain and simple, this just smells like a 2-1 game to me. And Man City will be the winners more than likely if that's the case. 2-1 is at plus 700. Alcaraz has been, or Julian Alvarez has been on fire for goals, but just at plus 190, I'll lay off that. But Marcus Rashford at plus 370. That's a good number. I'll take a shot maybe at him. That would be Man United's one goal if he were to score. I just don't think this is Man U. This is the kind of game they play 2-1, and Man City. This is the kind of game they definitely play as of late. So two defensive-minded teams here, and the offense just hasn't been clicking for whatever reason for Man City. So we'll lay off of this one for the most part. Could be rainy as well at this time of the day on Sunday. Actually, it looks like it's clearing up on Sunday. If this was the Saturday game, late day, then definitely a little bit more iffy. If you want to get crazy, let's just see what the Man City away goal number is for 2.5. They just haven't gotten there. Plus 220. To get the 4 is at plus 630. So maybe they can beat it down on their rivals. I mean, if you want to throw it in, that they can just roll it. Might as well Sunday morning. If you have to make a new play, scrap everything from Saturday, go ahead and just throw your shot on Man City. Over 3.5 goals, knowing that they haven't gotten there, and that it's a definite long shot. Okay, so that's the EPL. If there's one straight lock of the week winner that you need, let's see here. If you need one straight up lock winner at home where you're not paying a crazy price, I mean, I guess it's Newcastle minus 125, to be honest. I mean, that's as cheap as it gets. But I do like Newcastle. We are in the 89th minute now, 2-0 in favor of Tottenham. Looks like Madison is going to go to the bench. A couple reserves coming on here for Tottenham. I think this game's going to end 2-0, unfortunately. So maybe Newcastle is your straight up winner. But over 2.5, Newcastle and the Wolves. Let's see what that pays. If you need one straight game to play. We haven't got this 90-minute magic yet this year, really. We kind of, with all this extended extra time, you'd think we'd have a little bit more of it by now, but we just haven't had that late magic happening here. Maybe we can get it today. Minus 157 for over 2.5. Okay, so if you need a good straight bet, I don't even know if it's good, but go ahead and take Newcastle minus 125. All right. Next, the championship. I'll pull the odds up right now. Then we'll get to the table. This is a little bit more of a runaway. Leicester City, who hasn't lost in forever. I mean, they've lost one game overall in their 13. They've won 12. But they're not blowing teams out either. They're scoring 2 goals a game. So 27 goals in their 13 games. They've only allowed 7. So defensively, they're giving you nothing. And they've been an under team. So keep that in mind as well. Usually the best teams are the over teams. Not right now. Ipswich, 31 points in second place. They've been phenomenal. They just do not misstep. 31 points for them. They are a really good team. So it gets really congested after this, from third spot down to 17th. Really, from just to the relegation zone is just 8 points. But for the sake of argument here, we'll just go from third spot overall until 17th place. All right, you're separated really by 2 games. Do we get a penalty here? Oh, a handball, maybe. Nope. No handball. Wow. Okay. Are they going to review it? Play continues. Looks like play is going to continue here. Okay. No handball, no Tottenham penalty, it looks like, unfortunately. So not a lot of separation here with these teams. That being said, 3 through 6 will play in a playoff to get promoted. The team that we've been keen about, Leeds, finally lost, but they are all the way up to third spot. So we've told you to start playing on Leeds, and here you go. They're up in third now. Preston, fourth. Southampton, fifth. West Brom now up in sixth. Really, everyone's congested, and then let's just talk about the bottom three. So this is 15, 15, 15, and 14. So the teams I didn't include in that 3 through 17. And these are the 4 teams right above relegation. Plymouth, Swansea, Coventry, and Huddersfield. All those teams are separated by 1 point. Huddersfield is the one team with 14, the other 3 with 15. And Huddersfield leads Rotherham, the first place in the relegation zone, by 5 points. Queen's Park Rangers has 8. Sheffield Wednesday, 3. So Sheffield Wednesday is in big trouble. They are already 11 back. They can't score at all. They've scored on the year a total of 5 goals. They've allowed 22, so a minus 17 for them. Queen's Park Rangers have given up 24 goals. Rotherham 22, Huddersfield 23. Those are your top ones. Norwich 24 as they continue to drop. 24 for Southampton. They've given up a lot. So that's your best team giving up a lot of goals. The teams who have scored the most, Leicester 27, Ipswich 26. Crystal Palace with a goal. So look at this. If you laid minus 1.5 with Tottenham, some late squeamish action. Wow. Header missed by Tottenham, and Crystal Palace with a blast from in front of the net. 2-1. Late action here. If you had over 2.5, you like that. So 4 minutes left here in added time. So plus 8 minutes. We're at the 94-minute mark. Crystal Palace just scores, and you got to figure that we'll have some more. They might call that a hand goal. That would be a bad beat. It does hit his arm. Wow. So this might be a handball, no goal. They're going to take this off, I bet. So Palace, wow. Interesting. So if you had the over, you're screaming right now. Okay. Rotherham, Queen's Park Rangers, and Sheffield, moral of the story, are terrible, terrible teams. Let's go through the list. Not in the over league right now. Let's see if we can find some. Leeds does play Huddersfield, so that's a team who can get some traction here early. Leeds home goals. Let's see what we have. Just to get the 3, I don't think you're going to pay a lot. Somerville has been fantastic scoring. Over 2.5 is at plus 148. Are they taking the goal off? Well, VAR is still checking. All right, so plus 146 for over 2.5 goals. Can they win with this with the spread? Probably. So we'll look at that real quick. And we'll fly through here. We'll try to get you out of here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Let's see. Leeds minus 1.5 is plus 104. Plus 290 minus 2.5. Man, I would just like a better number. So maybe the over 2.5 is the best play here. Well, if Leeds can keep it hot, not as great their last time out. Stoke played them well. But Huddersfield has not been good. Southampton and Birmingham, yeah, good goal. They're going to give it to them. 2-1, it counts. So let's see. We're going to get a few more minutes here added to the clock. Maybe Tottenham can tally another one for us. All right, Southampton minus 185, Birmingham plus 460. That's Tom Brady's team. The draw is at plus 310. I think we'll have a no opinion here for the most part. Cardiff and Bristol. Cardiff plus 115. Bristol plus 240. draw plus 220. I think we'll stay away from this. We'll take Middlesbrough. They've been on fire. They've been one team who's been hot. Minus 140 for them, plus 330 for Stoke. The draw plus 290. Stoke with a good effort last time out, but the way they play may play into the hands of better Middlesbrough team here. Over 2.5 goals for Middlesbrough is plus 280. So that's a number we can take a risk with there. Ipswich, I mean, they beat everyone. $3 favorites at home against Plymouth, plus 600. So let's take a look at their home team goals. Plymouth isn't the greatest, although they won their last time out against Sheffield Wednesday, the worst team. Home team over 2.5 is just plus 118 for Ipswich. Man, the thing is, they were just recently promoted from League One. So I just, wow, the Crystal Palace goalie is coming into the box. Oh, this may be a goal for Tottenham if they can outrace it. There's no goalie back there if Tottenham can just hit the ball and kick it. Wow. Oh, man. Yellow card coming up for Crystal Palace. Come on, Tottenham. Get us a goal. All right, so home team goals for Middlesbrough. We're not getting paid enough to take Ipswich. Hull and Preston. I would take a shot on Preston maybe again. Plus 280. They're still in that top range. They haven't been in the greatest form, right? Losers of 3 of the last 5 and 2 draws. But Hull is inconsistent since being kind of up towards the top as well. So we'll take a chance maybe with Preston. Good number at plus 280. Blackburn's not the greatest. Swansea has been improving, but losers their last couple of times out as well. They look like they're really starting to go onto a tear. They've lost 2 in a row. Blackburn has won 3 in a row, but this is the championship. I mean, craziness can happen. Maybe take a stab at plus 240 on Swansea. I know they are a favorite here on the show, but I just don't trust the Blackburn. So if you need something, try it. Another one I don't trust is just Sunderland again. They are hosting Norwich, who's been bad, but both of these teams have had bad form. So something's got to give here. I'm maybe going to give Norwich a shot. They were kind of off to a really good start and had injuries. Let me look at their anytime goal scorers because it helps if they get some players back. They have Bellingham still. Yeah, I don't know. No John Sargent. That's the guy we're looking for. We'll try to get injury report on him next time out. QPR plays Leicester. This could be the beatdown. Leicester goals, let's see. For them to get to over 3.5 away team, over 3.5 at QPR is plus 420. So not the best number, not the worst. But Leicester should put the hammer down on Queen's Park Rangers. It's the team who scored the most against the team who's allowed the most. So that's just simple math. Take Leicester with their away team goals. Watford and Millwall. Millwall at plus 280 is interesting to me. Watford's not that good. And Millwall is better than them, right? In the table anyway. I think so. Millwall, well, they're right there. 16 points apiece. Watford, a little better form with 2 wins. Maybe that's why the number's inflated. But I would take a shot at Millwall straight up plus 280. Sheffield Wednesday and Rotherham play Sunday morning, 9 a.m. So that's on the matchup. Again, 2 of the worst teams in the league. Sheffield Wednesday is actually a favorite, minus 120. The draws plus 240. Rotherham plus 340. I think it's worth a shot, to be honest. So take a shot on Rotherham plus 340 on Sunday morning. So best games in the championship. From the top, we'll look at Leeds home team goals for Leeds. We'll take a look at Middlesbrough home team goals. Straight up Preston. Lean straight up Swansea. Lean straight up Norwich. Take Leicester away team goals and lean Millwall. And we'll lean Rotherham as well. So actually, let's do the lean the parlay real quick. Let's get that bet slip cleared and we can do this real quick. So lean on, this game should be over in a second. Rotherham plus 340, Millwall plus 280, Norwich plus 250, Swansea plus 240. And if you throw Preston at 280, just teams to win straight up. That 5 pays 3,775 on a 5-game parlay. Final score: Tottenham 2, Crystal Palace 1. Middlesbrough minus 140. We'll throw on there straight. Leeds minus 320. All right, 7-game parlay for $8,500 exact. In the championship: Rotherham money line, Millwall money line, Norwich money line, Swansea money line, Preston money line, Middlesbrough money line, and Leeds money line. All straight bets. But home team goals, Middlesbrough and Leeds will favor those two, and a Leicester away team goals. So those are the 3 bigger plays there. All right, guys, real quick again, in the EPL, we have weird bets going on there, but basically all the good teams will beat up on the bottom feeders. Let's see. And bottom feeder violence with Bournemouth beating Burnley. Arsenal will drub Sheffield. Maybe total combined over with Wolves and Newcastle. I could somehow see that. Brighton, they've lost a little trust here. We'll lay off of them for the most part. But thumpings at the hands of Liverpool and Aston Villa from against bottom feeders Nottingham and Luton. So Aston Villa team goals, Liverpool team goals, first halves if you want. Same with Arsenal. Bournemouth team goals for a game. And over in the Wolves-Newcastle game. All right, that is it. We'll go ahead and get on out of here. I'll cue up the Tottenham fans. We appreciate you listening to the Friday Soccer Paycheck. I am Stephen Murray, signing off from our beautiful Chicks Beach studios in Virginia Beach, Virginia, the United States of America. All right. When this broadcast ends, go to deepend757.com, click for the replay, and we will talk to you Sunday morning, bright early, 7 a.m. The full crew will be here. Another week in the NFL to break down, and you have a full slate of morning soccer on Sunday to have fun with as well. All right, until then, I'm Stephen Murray. Have a safe Halloween weekend.